Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Autopsy with Maddee P. I'm your host, Maddee P. Girl. I know, I'm overly excited and annoying. Why is that? Because we're done with our 4-part series, girl. How was it? Love you. I hope it was extraordinary. I hope you got what you wanted out of it. Now, I know you're expecting, Maddie, shouldn't you be here to talk about that? Shouldn't you be here to wrap it up and we move on from this series with our life? Two things. I'm having someone come on to discuss their experience with the plan. And I'm kind of tired of the shit. Okay? I'm kind of tired of the fucking plan, if we're being honest. I think it was spectacular. I went along with a lot of it. I thought I did a good job. Okay? And I loved talking about it. But I'm tired, y'all. And I've got so many emotions to get on the table that I've been keeping in. So much to talk about. So much to divulge with you. Because this is where I really get some of my problems out. That like I can't always get out in real life, okay? Now, I also took a little break because the series I had filmed, I had edited, I had posted it, so I got a little break. I got like a 2-week break. It wasn't a real break, okay? Anxiety took my life over, of course. And that is on my own account. That is on my own accord. So, this being said, let me just go ahead and preface this, everyone, okay? This week's podcast is going to have a little emotion behind it. I am going through it a little bit, emotionally speaking, right now. This is on accord for many things. This is because I am cycling through hell. Okay? Like I am Georgie on the bike. That's what this cycle is right now. Yes, my Piriana is in the house. She's in town and she hates me. And I skip my period from malnutrition, from my wisdom teeth. I swear. People are laughing at me about this when I say this. I know what it's like to miss your period from malnutrition. I used to have an ED. So definitely missed my period from malnutrition. And then this Georgie cycle is from hell, from absolute hell. And honestly, like we don't talk about it enough. It affects me deeply. Like, I don't know if I have PMDD or is that the word? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Emotionally, I'm not doing okay. I am strung the fuck out. Is that the word? I am spiraling out of control, actually. Okay. So that quitting the vape. And we're going to jump into what I'm kind of struggling with because I wanted this week to struggle with you. Okay. I wanted to lay out my problems on the table and try to kind of solve them while you're here because I want to show you the real sides of sobriety. It's painful. Some of it can be painful. Whether this is for your help or whether you're curious and you want to talk about some stuff that goes on in your brain or you want some help for whatever reason, okay? Now, the disclaimer portion is that I do love my life, okay? That felt fake. That felt really fake. There's like literally a gun to my head right now. I'm like, I love my life. Okay. Sobriety is great. Sobriety is the path to take. We love sobriety, okay? Sometimes we struggle. Things are hard. And I'm prefacing this to tell you today that we're talking about sobriety in a light that isn't sobriety being perfect, okay? It's me calling out sobriety. It's me placing my blames, and it's me being upset and being honest and transparent about my suffering, okay, at this time. I'm hitting a 10-month mark. I've talked about it before. There are certain times in sobriety that are harder than other times. I'm not sure what it is or the math behind it. I am going to make an episode on this, obviously, because I make an episode of everything I can make an episode for. 4 to 5 months. That was difficult. 8 to 10 months we're looking at right now. 6 months also wasn't 6 months was okay. I think it was like 7 months was a little tough too. It's hard, you guys. It's hard. And like, I feel like I'm fighting against my brain a lot recently. Like I said, I haven't been the same since the wisdom teeth. Okay. I literally have not been the same girl. I am going through a metamorphosis, if you will. We will get into that. So the whole point of that was don't be deterred. And this might be a little bit sadder of an episode today. And I just want you to know that. Okay. And sobriety is still great. Everything rocks. I'm struggling. Now that that's over. And also I'm jumping back on the podcast horse. I have not been podcasting for a few weeks plus. So, I'm probably going to be fucking annoying. I'm probably going to miss words. There's probably going to be a lot of ums, likes, fillers, things like that. And I'm probably not going to have a filter. So if you see any skipping around, it's because I had to cut shit. because I've been popping off too recently. If I didn't, sorry, George is coming out. Georgie, I'm gonna start calling him that. My period. It's a boy. The cycle's a boy. The blood part is a boy. And we're back to doing warm-ups in our life. I missed warm-ups, to be honest. And I really did like the series. And we will do another series, but I'm like, where am I in this? Like, I miss podcasting. Like, the break just doesn't work for me. And I think that's because, honestly, in life, like, we want these breaks. We think we want these breaks so bad. Like, we want to be able to lay in bed. Like, oh, I can't wait to just lay in bed and do nothing. No, it's not good for your mental health. We don't want 90%. We don't actually want the things in life we think we want. I did not want that break. It was not good for me. It's not good for me to step away from podcasting. I do a lot of sober work here. Yes, I go to my rooms. Yes, I have my sponsor. Yes, I do so much work outside of the rooms daily, in and out. But this is where I do a lot of shit. And I don't need a break from it. This is where I get my energy out. Like, I need my day to be filled because I'm crazy, which is why we're here for, my fellow crazy people. I need my day to be filled. I can't sit around and read Divergent, or I'm just upset I don't have to bias. If we're being honest, maybe that's what this is all about. Maybe I'm just upset that I can never have Tobias in Divergent. Maddie talking about another dystopian series yet again. Okay, it's getting hot here already. Oh my God. He just gets me going. Him and Gail, So yeah, in life, breaks are fake. I mean, like, I don't get real rest without accomplishment. Without a sense of getting shit done, without a sense of productivity, there is no rest. It came with the cost of the boredom. It came with the cost of messed up personal relationship with relaxation and with rest and with respite, whatever. Is that the word? Is respite a word? I hear my mom use that and she's smart, really smart. So I'm guessing it's a word. And, I struggled with that, so quickly I realized that in my heart of hearts right now, I don't want to go back to work tomorrow and I don't want to be done with today, and I'm searching for more time. That's what my relaxation looked like. I was searching for more time and the right thing to do with it. And then we get in the circle of life again, right? Then we're back to, okay, well, I'm actually grateful for what I have. I'm actually grateful to do the podcast. I'm actually grateful to get my feelings out and have people that I connect with. All these things. Okay. Now we're back in the gratitude loop. Okay, now we're learning that relaxation and rest and all this stuff revolves around recharging, revolves around gratefulness, revolves around talking to our higher power, revolves around getting a break, meditation, true recharging of the soul, mind, and body, and spirit. Okay? Was not doing those things. Yes, I thought I was, but we're going to get there. Just wanted to talk about that. And half the time we don't really need a break, and we're too young to need a break. If we're being real, I've been telling myself recently, keep working. You pig, keep working. Just do it till you can't breathe anymore. Because what the fuck am I doing with my time? Go drink? No. Warm up. Well, I got my disclaimer out. I have a lot of energy. Maybe it was good I was gone. Missed you so much. I missed you. I missed you. I really did. Is my hair ugly as shit today? Let's see. Yeah. So I chopped my hair off. Sorry. I chopped my own hair off. I sure do. I haven't gotten a real haircut in since 20. Yeah. I have not gotten a haircut from a from a hair doctor since 2019, y'all. 6 years I've been cutting my hair, even including because for a second I was like, well, I bleached my hair at one point when she was being crazy off crack, for real. Bleached my hair. Don't want to talk about it. Even when I went back to my normal hair, I did it myself. I box dyed it and I cut it with a pair of fucking kitchen scissors. And I did that last night, and I cut it a little short, but that's okay. Short to me, my hair. Yeah, look at that. It's past the table. I don't know what I'm talking about. My hair is just it holds my powers. I think it holds my magic powers. So give me some slack. Love me like you love. I wrote on here now is a good time for you guys to start watching For Hope, because I'm about to expose to you going into this, some of the very hard things that I've been facing and being actually honest in that shit and actually being real as fuck about it. And, you know, it's time for some hope because my heart is smashed and crumbled and stepped on. And what am I doing? I'm proceeding forward. What am I doing? Propelling myself into the future. Working hard every day to get past those feelings instead of rolling over and drinking, which is what I want to do, honestly, in my heart of hearts. Not doing that, though. And I want to present some hope today. So, and some hope within this podcast. So it's not a time to watch for tips, tricks for if you think you're an alcoholic, all this stuff. This is hope. This is to help you keep going in your sober life or just your mental health. It's really about mental health today more than it is sobriety. And our quote too for this week is "Such is life." Such is life. All of these big issues, man. All of these huge issues overtaking me, overtaking my friends. Like I see it in everyone's life. These big issues that lie just beneath the surface that they do not talk about, that I do not talk about, where we're going to kill each other. And such is life too. At the same time, it's so funny because it's like we have all these big things. We all have it. Such is life, man. It's crazy that we can write off the big things like that. And I kind of love that about life. Was that horrible? Probably. Now, I wrote on here Divergent. I did film a Sunrise and the Reaping episode. I'll probably release it as a bonus while I was away because I literally missed podcasting. And I was like, I need to talk about Sunrise and the Reaping. I just finished it. I need to talk about it. My hair's probably being weird today. So, jumped into Divergent. Read the first Divergent book in 3 days. Hello, I need a boyfriend. Hello, she needs to be touched. Quick, somebody come touch her. Because let me tell you, I'm deprived. I am deprived. Like, I had a man, like at work, touch me in the small of my back the other day, going past me. I gramed my shorts. Like, I literally was like, I can't. Like, not even going to ask me on a date. So that's what Divergent does to me. I'm on the second book now. And it's literally incredible. Nothing will ever beat the Hunger Games, of course, but it's absolutely fantastic. What is there to say? Now, also, I want a boyfriend, okay? I'd like a boyfriend now. Thank you. The rule is 1 year. For a man, to keep a man, okay? You can go on dates. You can be sexually active. Like we've discussed, still celibate. Yep, still celibate. Yeah, I'm celibate. Why do you ask? Holy shit. I'm sorry to anyone that's related to me that just watched that or knew me when I was a child. And it's just my time to shine. Okay. So I won't be dating anyone until my 1 year. As I said, I went with that rule. I like that rule. I don't think people should date in their first year. But really, it's up to you. I could give a shit. You know, that's only coming from a girl that doesn't really have attachment issues. I think I have the opposite issues in my life. Which isn't any better, by the way, mind you. It's not any better. Don't wish you had those problems, okay? And I'd like to date. I'd like to be touched, okay? Like, I just want to giggle and laugh and, like, I can't trust them, and I know that. You know, it's like, I know I can't trust a motherfucker, and I know they're not better than me, and I know that, you know, they probably don't deserve me, but I need to get out there and get flirting again while I'm feeling confident, because for a while I thought I'd be too scared to even go on a first date. Part of me still is. The other part is like, I'm that bitch though. Like, should they be scared of me? Like, hello, it's me. So there's that. Another warm-up thing. Because I might end up crying today too, by the way, guys. Okay. Preface, I will probably cry today. I watched this movie that I want to recommend to you if you're an alcoholic or an addict. I mean, it was a good movie for anyone, but like, it's called Smashed. It was in 2012. And it's about a couple who is a pair of alcoholics and what their life looks like. This girl gets clean. It was so good. At the end, too, so there is a scene where I'm not telling you the end of the movie or anything that happens. And it's basically just about her personal journey. He's involved. It's about their relationship, but it's about her and her journey with getting clean and getting sober. And first of all, the embarrassment that she said a quote in there that struck a chord in me because I've been feeling like I kind of want to drink, honestly, a little bit. Like, and I'll explain what I mean by that because I don't feel that way, but okay. I need to hear it though. And she said things went from embarrassing to scary in one of her meetings. That's what she shared. And I'm like, wow, that's exactly what happened to me. Things went from embarrassing to scary. And now it's time to get help. It's not funny anymore. It wasn't funny when we hit embarrassing, but now it's really not funny, you know? And that hit me. I don't know. I needed to hear that at that time to remember, sit back and remember how bad it is. And she goes through and has a relapse. And sorry. I mean, it's part of the movie. It's part of recovery. It's part of everyone's story. So I feel like we should expect relapses in any book or story that I talk about with another addict, because it's part of the story. It's part of our life is relapse. And her addiction waited for her on the other side. Like we learn, if you don't know, if you're not familiar, not part of the program, whatever, our addiction waits for us where it left off. My addiction is sitting 3 bottles deep, legs aching, can't see straight. My addiction, if I were to go back, is not a glass of wine. It's not a shot of tequila on her way home. It is pain, and it is suffering waiting for me at the other hand. And it's important for me to see that in film, especially during this time, just while I'm struggling in myself and somewhat in my sobriety too. Really, though, it's about my mental health. And towards the end of the movie, what really got me, and what I think this is a perfect little thing to talk about, a segue, if you will, to talk about what I want to talk about today. Sorry, I hit something on my mic. Whoever made this film depicted alcoholism and being clean for a long time in the perfect way. At least for myself. I can't speak on behalf of all addicts and alcoholics. She comes up on a year being clean. She's been clean a long time. And there's a pain, a dull, throbbing pain that exists in her where it's like, fuck. At least I sensed this from the film, and maybe this is me putting my own feeling into it too, sorry, it's hard to articulate because I am going through this too right now, is like, either way we get pain, and she's clean, she's sober, everyone's happy for her, and that's great, but she still wants to drink, and that hurts her because it's not actually gone, you know? And something about that, like, holy shit, okay. Clearly this is what I'm kind of going through right now. Like, we're being transparent today, and I'm being real with you, and I never would come on here and pretend that I'm so set in my sobriety and so great in my ways. Like, I do not want to go back to drinking, and I don't intend to, but I'm in pain. And not every part of sobriety, not every part of choosing myself first is easy. I have to fight sometimes for these things, and that's what I'm doing now in my active life. You know, I'm fighting. And watching that was just like, it's just a dichotomy that exists in addicts of never wanting to touch a substance again and then wanting to relapse immediately, you know? And like, it's just crazy. The brain of an alcoholic, the brain of an addict is so painful. And it reminds me, the brain of a human is what's painful. For everyone, whether you suffer or you don't suffer, the brain of a human is a fucked place, you know, and it's magic because of it. And I think some of the most fucked things in our life are magic for that reason, for the story, for the beauty, for the dichotomies, for like just polarizing things in life and people in life and all this stuff. And like, I don't know, it reminds me of how much of the magic is like pain. And I've talked about that, but like how much of the magic is like the questions and the weirdness and escaping the claws of something, you know, and running away from these things and turning around and be like, I made it. We're good. Okay. Phew, next line up. And like, that's the beauty of being a human. When I get lost and it's hard for me to be grateful, it's hard for me to have peace. It's hard for me to want to continue without throwing shit and screaming as a sober person. The beauty that I receive and the foreverness that I am promised to live, and to live in a way that makes me proud. And how beautiful all of that is. And like how beautiful it is that I get to live this life, and that I should be grateful for the experience, the very, very unique human experience I get of being an alcoholic and living in this trapped brain. But at the same time, I deal with a great bit of pain because of that. And like, I don't know, that movie was so good. It was called Smashed. It was written in came out in 2012, and it was on Tubi. I watched it. So I recommend you go watch it. I'm already crying. It was fantastic. I loved every second of it. And I I love meeting alcoholic women and seeing alcoholic women presented in media. I love like watching their stories. I think that's why I love TikTok. Like, that's why I get into the recovery side of TikTok and why I like it so much. It's just because, like, it's other women, and a lot of the time it's men depicted in media, which is fine. Obviously, it's a male-dominated field. Alcoholism, you know? But, yeah. So, I guess we'll jump right in now because that was a perfect segue. Okay, so I guess what we'll start with, too, is, like, why I'm feeling this way, and this isn't as organized today because my thoughts aren't organized, okay? This is a reflection of my insides. And, like, I was gonna chop and screw this and make it in a cohesive way where I could read to it, but that's not naturally occurring to me right now. Organization is not occurring to me naturally in my brain, and, like, I'm just trying to hold it together, okay? This started, like I said, the day that I got my wisdom teeth removed, when I had to put down the vape. And I'm not kidding. It's dramatic. I don't care. And we'll talk about the vape stuff. We'll have an episode, but I had a 10-year addiction to a vape. A 10-year addiction. And when you're an addict, when you're an alcoholic of any kind, including nicotine, when things are stripped from you, it's like a nerve ending being exposed. So like how I had nerve endings in my mouth when my teeth came out, it just feels like this raw, throbbing pain of where that addiction used to sit. Now, when did I get my wisdom teeth out? A month or something ago? I have hit other people's vape. I've gone back on myself. I have not purchased a vape. Oh, wait. No, that's a lie. I did purchase a vape to have at work that's called Can I Hit Your Vape? Okay. And everyone who's struggling, doesn't want to vape anymore, or just is annoying as fuck and is too broke to pay for fucking vape or whatever the deal is, can hit that vape. Within reason, you have to be hot and you have to be a girl. No germs. Thank you. I'm kidding. So I did purchase that one, but it stays at work. Okay. And I don't hit it every day. This isn't the vape episode. I don't have a lot of battery, or like I can't sit here for 2 hours. So we're not going to divulge the whole vape thing. I'm still quit, loose term, because I have hit it at certain times. It sucks because I didn't realize it, but for myself, all of the problems that I had shoved into like alcohol and drugs, like the problems that I didn't care about, this is occurring in vaping now. And I couldn't realize it. And like, I think that's why people get so irritable, so mad, so angry, is you are covering up a lot vaping and you don't realize it. I sound like an ad on TV, but it's so real. Like, I'm not trying to be truth or whatever, truth up day or what the fuck ever we got going on. No, I love vaping. I wish I could vape every day and it'd be healthy. Okay. And it hurt. I was very irritable, very angry, because I realized some of these deep, dark problems that I thought I had journaled away, I thought I had meditated away, I thought I had prayed away, were there. And they were throbbing. And they were just waiting for me to put down something that covered it up. And that's what the real urge of using stuff is pain. And like, obviously to people that's like, okay, yeah, duh, bitch, it's pain. Like, but even down to a vape for me, that was my driving factor. Each hit was when pain or a ping was presented, an issue was presented within myself, in my brain. And what do I need to do? I need to shut that up. I need to hit this vape right now. I need to hit this vape. I need to have an addiction really bad. At least one really bad. And that, I haven't been the same since the day I put it down. It literally rocked my shit, because not only that, if you played this game for a while, you start to see addiction, all this stuff. Like, it's almost like the Matrix. You've broken the fourth wall, because now you see you don't actually gain anything from it. And the high of stuff is not what you're searching for anymore. You're searching for literally a resolution. Like, you've not been high all this time. You've not been drunk all this time. You're looking for a resolution in yourself and in your heart. And it won't ever be the same again. Even hitting a vape will never be the same again. Because guess what? I hit the vape when I cheated, and I hit it the first time at work. Euphoria. Fantastic. The best feeling ever. A week later, I hit it multiple times during my work day because my friend let me, because she's fantastic. Love you, Cass. And by the third time I hit it, I didn't even feel the vape anymore. I didn't feel it. And I'm like, this whole thing is a fucking facade. And all of this shit is a game down to the vape. And like, breaking that fourth wall and realizing that there's going to be an agonizing ache there for a long time, and then I'm just constantly going to be trying to fix that in a healthy way now. And how much trial and error is it going to take for this to end? Like, this pain that I feel, like, how much trial and error until the nerve ending isn't throbbing anymore, and I don't feel out of place. I feel left out right now. Like, sorry girls, I'm sorry to break down on you, but like, I've journaled about this. I've like been doing some intense inside work about it, because it kind of tripped me out, because I was like, oh fuck, am I stuck here with no relief ever again? Because even if I relapse, even if I play that game where I know that that's not going to help me, where I know that's not going to fix shit, I can see right through it. So it doesn't matter. I can see right through the drink. I can see that it doesn't help me. And I can see like that it isn't going to bring me this, you know, like this light that I'm looking for, being ignited like that again, that I'm looking for. And something about that is ridiculously painful, because as an addict, you choose which way you suffer. You choose the suffering of being clean and getting sober, or you choose the suffering of continuing on and relapse and pain and drugs and alcohol. That is a crazy mind to live in. Like, and it's not normal. And I've been through periods of my sobriety where that's been hard for me. And, you know, sobriety is a lot. It's a lot. And we have to take off these little bits. We have to chew them slowly before our brain gets fed up and says, relapse, time to relapse. It's essentially what we're doing, is it not? Playing this game. And this is the first time where I'm having to coach myself through that and really understand that I am going to be happy one day and that things are going to be okay, but I have to trust and I have to put in that work. And I just wanted to be really transparent about the way I feel, because, and articulate it in the best way I can, because I know other people feel that way. And I know for a fact I'm not alone in it. And I don't want to come on here and act like this shit is normal and this shit is easy. Our brains like are a fucked place to live, and we're not supposed to go up there alone. I've taught you that. And I'm not supposed to go up there alone either. So that's my vape situation. Yeah, that shit all brought out like the deepest, darkest pain in me. So like, if you're going to quit vaping, and maybe I'm like, I am just susceptible to emotion and to pain and to like this chronic sadness that we'll get into, that I somewhat feel, if we're being honest. And like, if maybe to other people it's just irritability, it's simply like the drama, you know, behind their brain or whatever. But to me, that was real pain. Like, I was like actual, not me just freaking out. That was its whole other thing. I could recognize that. Yeah, I was flipping the fuck out, girl. And y'all know me, I be throwing shit. I don't lie about my anger issues on here. I don't lie about my shit. Girl, I was throwing shit in this house. Not a lot, but a couple times, mommy got flipped out. I got pissed. A couple times at work, what I do, I snap on people, you know? I had to go make my amends. I had to go apologize. I had to go put myself in a corner and apologize to myself for letting the anger come back. But I had to be patient, because I have an addiction and I have a problem. And it's not easy for me to put down the vape. And we're not abandoning her. We don't leave her behind. We don't treat her like a piece of shit for getting mad because we took her vape away. We're there for her. And we understand where she's coming from. But we got some work to do because you're throwing shit now. You know? And I think like this subconscious part is what's so hard of it too, because there's a lot of my subconscious coming to the surface. I asked for that, however. I journal about it. I prayed about it. And I knew some of this dull pain that I feel and the sadness that I feel, like that ache I talk about, the nerve ending that's open. A lot of that is my subconscious shit that I push away, because I've also expressed I have a problem with putting my wall down, and even within myself. So like, I want to keep trucking like everything's fine. I don't want to stop and fix the issue. I want to keep going. I'm so tired of it, right? And so I asked for my subconscious to be brought to the surface, and these problems within me, I articulated was that dull pain. And I think I was right about that. But a floodgate opened when I really started to listen to my subconscious and what was truly going on in the gut and pit of my stomach. And sometimes that shit is dangerous, which is why we say don't go up there alone. Don't go up there alone. And it unleashes a beast within us. And I think that's what happened to me, because I was searching for it. And I was right. That is exactly what's hurting me. I was right about that. But now I got to move forward in a way that keeps me sober. Because let me tell you, sometimes this shit, I look around and I say, I need a fucking shot of tequila. I am 10 months sober. What does that say about me? That I'm an alcoholic? Because that's not normal. It's been 10 months. That shows me I have an issue because I don't want it. When I think about it, I think, yeah, it's going to be a cheeky go get dressed up and have dinner. No, I'm going to be a bag deep, and I know that. And I know that it would hurt and it would be a lot. And like, my goal is to escape life. And what do they say? What do they say, guys? What do they say? The urge to get high, the urge to get drunk is the urge to want to die. That shit is so real. And that's, I think, what gets me so emotional about me facing the thought coming into my head of alcohol, because I know what it really means. Not suicidal, guys, but like, I'd be sad girl, which we're also getting into in this episode. We low-key just started and we've been here for like 30 minutes. Yeah, and it's my pain in a way that I can't unsee. That's the thing too with alcoholism and addiction too, is like, we can't unsee it. We can't unsee that pain. I think at the same time that I have grown into these very sad and tricky ideals that hurt me, it is me leveling up, I think, if we're being honest. And like, if I can get a handle on these new emotions and on this new pain, it's me leveling up. But like, I truly, it hit a level of metamorphosis. Like, I'm shedding something and I'm becoming something new through this and through this pain. And I'm learning so much about myself that like is hitting me like a ton of bricks on the side of the head. And like, that's where perseverance comes in key, because if I wake up and I choose sobriety that day, if it hurts, I chose it and I win. And I think that helps fuel me a lot, is winning over my addiction that day, because I know the pain and like, it's so easy for me. Like, that's why I don't get it, y'all. Like, it is so easy for me to give in. My whole life, it was easy. Like, I don't quit things. Like, I can give in to that shit. Like, okay, I quit this. 3 days later, I'm gonna go buy a vape. This is a new part of me that is like unleashed, you know, and the perseverance of that. And winning is such a good feeling in my gut, and I gained so much from winning over myself that it keeps me going and it keeps me propelling forward towards this, into this blackness, into this pit of my own subconscious, my own soul, and the dichotomy of being human, where we love life and we hate it at the same time, and the pain with that. And that's why I'm being real today. I don't want nobody calling nobody contacting nobody. I'm okay. You know, I'm okay. But I'm a grown woman and I'm a strong warrior, honestly, when it comes to the fight against myself. And I'm being transparent about that today. I don't need help. I will find help when I need it. I have people I go to during times of need. And if things were to get much darker than where I am at right now, unfortunately, I'm being so real, I would be seeking help in a different way. Okay. But I trust myself and my higher power and the people around me and my gut that this is a battle right now, that I'm going through a serious battle. And y'all know, I don't believe in much. I'm not religious, but like, somebody said to me, like, maybe it's Satan trying to get to you. Right. I don't necessarily believe that per se, but there was some realness to it, because it is like an evil that I unleashed in a way. And like, yeah, it did hit when that person said that, because I was just like, damn, that's what the pain feels like sometimes. Like, and when we go through these hard times, like, we have to make it through on the other side alive. We have to win. We have to, like, as alcoholics and addicts, or we lose the whole thing. It's not just like you go back a few points, you give up. Like, y'all can have the fight. We're waving our white flag when we are an alcoholic and addicts, because there's not just a little bit of losing. It's not like you get a point. We're done. When the floodgates come, when we hit that drink that very first time, it's over. Like, and we don't know if we make it back for a lot of people. And if we make it back to recovery, and if we live, and if we don't go to jail, and we get to keep our families and the people that we love. And it's really painful to not have logic naturally. It hurts really bad, because even when you're doing well, you're doing the things that you're supposed to do in your life, you don't have logic, and you don't want that sometimes. You want the bad stuff back. You want to be bad. You want to be who you are programmed to be, which is bad in a lot of ways. And like, to not have logic is painful. To not have that naturally is painful. Because you don't get to go back like other people do. You know, like, you guys get to quit drinking for a month, and I love that for you. I love if you followed the program or followed like the plan, but like I don't go back at any point. And I don't feel bad for myself for long because of that. And I'm not going to sit here and cry and act like I want it, because I don't. I want sobriety. That's not what I want. I don't want to go back. But my brain not naturally doing that. Here it is. I can articulate it. Two things have connected, which is why we're here to talk about this, is for me to get my feelings out too. And it's that I naturally don't have logic still. I naturally want alcohol still. This is the disease living in me in a way that hurts, and in a way I can't really protect myself from because I'm learning. But it's not natural for me to be this person, this recovered girl who is choosing kindness, choosing peace. It's not natural. What is natural is me picking up that drink again. And I know it sounds like I'm almost talking myself out of relapse. That's not what's happening. I'm just being real about it so that this is just what it really is, guys. Like I'm not going to relapse. I don't know why I have to say that again. Anyways. But you see yourself in a way that you can't unsee, and you see your pain in a way that you can't unsee, and everything's a game after that. And now we'll get to the part 2 with the whole dull ache and the exposed nerve ending that any addiction leaves behind. That sometimes skin grows back over and sometimes it doesn't. For me, that was addiction to addiction. My skin might never grow over my alcoholism nerve ending. That's what it feels like. My addiction has grown over. My skin has kind of grown over my cocaine nerve ending in a way. I'm not being naive. I'm trying to articulate and map it out for you and show you what I mean by that. But like the alcoholism one that's who I am. That is my favorite thing in the world. It's who I am. And it's embarrassing. And that's why I cry over it right now, is because it's just so fucking embarrassing and so fucking lonely sometimes. To just go out and be a fucking girl again, like the rage of that. And the fact that doesn't get me what everyone else gets from it. And I'm glad I know that. And I'm glad I'm smart enough to reach out to people at this time, and also come here to talk about it so that you understand where I'm coming from, and for you to understand that you're not alone. And now what I'll get into is, in some ways, this chronic sadness that I think I'll feel for a lot of my life. I have felt it for a very long time. We've talked about my depression in the past, and I won't even label this as depression. I've gone through very depressive states in my life, like most people have, unfortunately. And I won't call it that. It's just, I think a lot of us have it, is why I'm talking about it. And it's not normal for us to talk about our sorrows and that we actually are sad, because we don't want people to be like, you're sad. Oh my God. That's life, guys. Sorry. I'm naturally sad 90% of the time. I have to work past it and I have to work through it. More importantly, what I've grown to understand is that, I've talked about it, but I think this is part of life. And I think that this is part somewhat of who I am, and not in a bad way. It's a way where I can be loving about it, and where I can have patience and understand that, like, the key to life isn't me being happy necessarily, which is what I strive for, still will, day in and day out. But I'm discussing if I don't win that battle. I never win it. After all these years, still fighting, I never win it. Then the point of my life has to come from somewhere else, and that's experience. And I've talked about it before, so I won't be a dead horse, but it's experience, and it's joy. It's these little things in life, not the happiness as a whole. And that me being chronically sad has presented me with fantastic tools. It has presented me with severe perseverance and a lot of these things that are helping me through this period now where I low-key want to drink. I'm not going to, but these are a lot of tools and things that I presented myself with, and a strength that I carry from that, and that I can give to others and solve problems and come up with resolutions and love myself too, in this certain way that no one can ever love me, because they don't get that. They don't understand my own beast when it comes to sadness. And like, people are going to think that's something you can fix constantly. And that's the hard part about talking about sadness, is you can't feel that way. We can fix it this way. That's part of life. Why can't it be part of life? Why can't it be that simple? Why can't it be me trying against it every day, but living with it? and loving myself in this way that like I see her for real. And for all the sadness that she faces day in and day out, I see that. Other people don't see her. And like it has caused me to be there for myself in this severe way, especially during this time where that nerve ending is exposed from the vape, but also exposed me to a whole bunch of shit I'm actually sad about. A whole wave of shit came in because I could finally let down that wall. And for it to come in, and like other people aren't going to get that. And like I can be there for her right now in a very real way. And you know, I think that we all face it, and that we all are fighting against sadness, and we think we have to fight against it. We think that we're losing. We think that like we aren't grateful enough and all this shit. And that's not fair. Like to say that you're not grateful enough is not fair. And that's something I have just realized within like the last few days, like with this floodgate coming down, is like, I'm sorry, I'm so emotional right now. I truly am. It's the vape, guys. Like, this is what happens to me. Why can't you be grateful, Maddie? You have so much to be grateful for. Maybe we can flip this gratefulness on its head. We utilize this tool at all times. At all times. There is always a reason to be happy. But that's also forcing your problems away in a sense too. You're forcing a happiness. You're forcing to be grateful for something. You're forcing for that pain to go away, and it doesn't. My camera does not want to hold a charge right now. It's breaking. I don't know what's going on. So we're going to finish this part, and then I'm going to have to finish this tomorrow because it's going to take 4 hours to charge. So bear with me. What I was saying though is that you forcing your pain away through gratefulness, at least for me, was just pushing my problems back down into my subconscious. So it was working in the moment and kind of as a whole while changing my perspective. But in these great feats, in these great times of pain, it's not gonna work. And it's not fair to just tell yourself to be grateful. It truly isn't fair. And that's how I felt. Is like, I realized like I'm forcing myself to be grateful, and I'm like, I am grateful. I'm not underly grateful for what I have. I'm not being a bitch. I'm hurting, and I'm not there for myself if I keep doing this. And like, I'm not going to tell you to stray away from gratefulness. That's not the point. And like, every brain is different, and this might not work for everyone, but like for me, it's just not fair. It's not fair to do that. It's not just because you're not grateful. It's not just because you're not happy. Not just because you're not thankful, or you don't have what you want, or you're jealous and all this stuff. That might not be the reason, you know? And that's why like I was struggling, I guess too, because I didn't want to trust that pain was temporary too. And when I realized I couldn't trust it as temporary, then all these fixes are temporary, and that's not what's going to help me. And a big thing I was utilizing, and something I taught you too, was gratefulness as a tool. And it truly is. But I'm learning to have to view it in a different way, because the pain, the sadness might not be temporary. And if maybe it is temporary in the grand scheme of my life, so temporary being 10 years when my life is 80, you know, like that's painful. And that's a lot to go through as a human. Okay. And I guess now, like in this metamorphosis, maybe I am strong enough to truly see my pain and to truly see in and carry it for actually what it is. And it's allowing me to trust time again, but in a really large way, where these really big problems that were excruciating in my gut that I wasn't facing daily are at some point either A, going to leave me, B, if they don't have to. And I'm trusting time to fix that within myself. So that's not what I'm relying on at the end of the day. It is happiness and is peace, and for these great things to be gone, and for me to not feel this way anymore, because it's not realistic. And I think like when I came back to being face to face with this same pain that I had felt when I was 16, and when I was a child, and again when I was 20, and again when I was 21, and again when I was 22, and after all these years, it was like drugs in a way, because it was right back where it left off. The pain of my sadness and that depression and the way that I feel in my subconscious was the exact same as it was that day I left it off last. And I don't know if there's an addiction to pain or that's my relationship to pain or what, but it felt the exact same way. Being exposed back to that nerve ending and the same feelings of loneliness, the same feeling of nobody wants me, nobody loves me, all of these unreal, untrue thoughts about myself that I can't keep from happening. I can't keep it from occurring. I can do my work in the aftermath and in the wake of that pain, but I can't keep it from happening. And I act like I can, and that's not fair, to force that is like forcing the gratefulness situation, and it's just like a new light of me seeing myself in a really cool way. And time helped me level up through that again. And there's something about the perception of time and our pain that we need to keep in mind. And it's helping me again. And like, I'm working this out with you and I'm learning about it right now in this moment. And I'm now recognizing that time is something that follows me in pursuit of happiness and in pursuit of peace, because I can register it and I can measure it and like trust it in a way. And I think when I was thrown off by like, wait, what if this sadness isn't temporary? Like that kind of struck me because I was like, fuck, oh shit, I planned this all about time. I'm okay because of time. I'm okay because of patience. And what if that's not real? What if that's not even going to help? And I don't know. I don't say this to deter anyone. I don't say this to come out of the closet as sad. Like, that's not what's happening, but I'm just trying to be real. And I think too, like when I said I left off from the same spot, part of it was the same negative self-view was there. So the same way that I hate myself and I want to drag myself down deep in my gut after all this work of not wanting to do that. The fact that it lived there and the fact that it was just as nasty towards myself and the exact same, it absolutely crumbled me to bits and pieces because like, fuck, is that going to leave me? Like, am I going to be this haunted person forever that hates herself, like truly in her gut? And it's not real. It's not true. That's not who I am. Like, we're working past that, but like, that's what comes up when we ignore these things, like, and it was vicious. Like, it was ugly the way that I was not treating myself, but thinking of myself while combating all these feelings at the same time. I'm combating this. I'm utilizing my tools. I'm going to meetings. I'm doing what I can, like, I'm not letting it happen, but like, it's really hard. And I want you to know that like, that's part of recovery, and that like, just like addiction is the same as pain. It's just where it left off, like, and it's a huge part of it. And you're really not alone in that. I'm going to stop there for now because my camera's going to have to charge for 3 hours. I don't know what's happening. So hold that thought. Love you. Okay. I guess we are jumping back into the sad podcast today. My camera did charge for 3 hours, so I'm back. I don't know where we left off. Okay. I had a great day yesterday. I'm sorry if this episode is just depressing and you're like, what the fuck? But sober people have feelings like this too. Okay. So I love my life. I love sobriety. I have pain. We jumped off at gratefulness. We talk ourselves out of our sadness sometimes based on us thinking we aren't contributing to our happiness as well. Okay. Does that make sense? I have that issue. I am contributing to my happiness fully. I am constantly aiming to be grateful, aiming to be happy, aiming to better relationships, aiming to better things in my life. Okay. So that it equals happiness. And sometimes it just doesn't. That's real life. A lot of my life has equated to me trying to hide that, and to hide that I'm upset, to hide that I have things going on, because I feel as though it equates to me getting in trouble of being honest in my feelings. And I think that it's just because it always comes with questioning. And so now I'm accepting the role of just perpetual potential sadness. And when I do have sadness, owning it. Yesterday I was out and about after having to stop this filming. And yes, I had a hard filming day and it was like intense, but I wasn't smiling all that much. Like, I was happy. Shit was funny. Conversation was good, but I wasn't forcing it. And I wasn't forcing myself to be happy for other people because I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of running from it. And like, there can't be anything wrong with people at all. And instead we hide it and we put it down, we put it down, we put it down. And I find that's what has been happening with myself. And it's ruining me, if we're being honest. I can't come here and just keep propelling forward when like really there's so much happening. I just think no one talks about how absolutely lonely it is to be sober. And to like, or more so to choose yourself all the time. And to like choose what's best and what's the right thing to do. And like being responsible is low key fucking painful when you're young. Because other people don't have to make that decision. And like you're not used to that. And I think that's something we don't talk about either is like deep in my head, I know the possibility of relapse is real. Deep in my heart, I know it's real. I don't pretend that it's not. That would be naive. And part of me was always bad, right? We talked about it. Growing up in my life, part of me has always been bad. And most addicts and alcoholics, part of us is always bad. It's just how we are. And we hide it. And we act like it's not real and that we're bad. We're bad. And we hide that part of us. And it's like, we're addicts. We're alcoholics. This is who we are. We are bad. We are known for being bad. You know, like why are we hiding this? And why is it a secret? And I think that's when it starts to feel like church to me. And like I'm hiding again and again and again and again. And a lot of adulthood is hiding and manipulating and smiling when you don't want to and saving face. But it's detrimental. And it just feels like a secret that sometimes we want to choose to be bad. We want to choose the bad thing in our head. We want to take the wrong route. We want to throw the tantrum. We want to drink. We want to use. We want to do whatever. And we hide it. Because all of a sudden, sometimes recovery becomes church. And that's not what is going on. And that's not the truth. And that's why I'm loud about it. That's why I talk about it. That's why I come on here and fucking cry and tell you that I want to fucking drink sometimes. Because it's not real. We are like... We're making a facade up. We are lying to ourselves. That's not who we are. That's not who we are as people. Like, yeah, down the road when you haven't drank for a lot of years, sure. At the beginning of this shit, that's not who we are. We're like literally dauntless. And I get uncomfortable because then I'm not allowed. And I've talked about this. I talked about this when Allie died. Like, I'm not allowed to just rest alone in my sad feelings. It always has to involve somebody else. Someone else always has to like... You know, and it's just like, I can save myself. I can be sad. And y'all are going to come, I'm going to tell you that I'm chronically low-key sad. And people are going to text me. People are going to come try to find me, try to make me feel better. I'm not choosing this on purpose. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I'm being mature enough to come to terms with shit so that I can operate in a happy way because I'm tired of not. And I'm tired of lying. And... I'm trying to reach that point, and it's just like that's what sucks so bad. And this is why people don't share our feelings. We don't want the opinions of it, and we don't want the advice. Like 5 dead ass. Let people handle their own shit. 2025, and it's just like so easy for me to look around at like what other people have, and they still go out and like we grieve this shit for a long time. We grieve that life that we live for a long time to come. And like the FOMO is nuts. We do so much work as sober people and like this wall is up in me so bad. And I think I'm accepting like so many alcoholics and addicts and shit become like nomads. And like if I'm going to be sober, I can't be confined because that's what I look for in my substances is like to be let free out of this cage of humanity, you know? And like if I'm gonna choose sobriety and shit, I need to be let out, I think. And I understand that now for so many reasons because it sucks to like live the same life as everyone else, but they get to drink through it. Like it's painful sometimes to watch. Like watching these people like not have to fight against their demons or like fight against that voice in their head and like they just pick up that drink after work and like shit's normal for them. And that's painful, but I would still choose sobriety every day. Or I still am, you know? And I think that's what it is. It's like me trying to come in here and be honest. And like I say I don't want to drink, but in reality, I'm choosing sobriety every day. I wasn't expecting for this to like... Trying to understand yourself is so fucking hard sometimes. Like, I don't know what I want half the time, and I think I do, and I don't. And I think it just hurt because yesterday hanging out felt a lot like August last year.
where I was getting sober and I was trying. I live by that philosophy of like, things are supposed to be fun now that I'm sober. I'm supposed to like, oh, all this shit is fun. You don't have to drink to have fun. And that's how I lived my August. And like, I tried to fight for that and make it real, and it wasn't to me. I couldn't have fun without liquor. And like, it only made things harder. And now it's starting to feel like that. It's not that I want to drink, I want to be normal. You know? Like, I don't even want the medicine, kind of. But it's just like, it sucks when you, and this is like where it's like my self-pity coming into play, because it's like I have to pay attention to so much, but it doesn't matter, because like, that's not my walk, that's not my path. And like, what I tell myself is like, what if you have 5 more really bad urges of wanting to drink? What if you push through this month and this is the last month where you have these deep feelings that I can't hide? Like, what if it's only a little bit of time and then you never feel that again, and that's what you're pushing through, you know? And I feel like that really helps me get through the urges, even if it's not true at all. I said it earlier in the episode, but like, that's why I do think that a sober person is like one of the most intense forms of human existence. Like, we're trapped in this place and a lot of suffering we can't talk about because normal people don't feel it to that level. And so when we say things that are off the chart, off the rocker, they're like, you need to go fucking see somebody, or you need help, or you can't feel that way. You can't feel that way is the constant response to this shit. And it's like, y'all, I live like this. Okay, then I'll shut up then. This is what I live in. Okay, then I'll shut the fuck up. Y'all ain't gonna hear shit then if I can't just be sad. And it's like the sad police. And I understand, as somebody who's lost a friend to suicide, I understand why it's like that. But like, you gotta let people express that deep shit in their stomach, because it's real. It's like, it's a new level of understanding myself on such a degree, in such a plane that makes sense. Like, these revelations are so crazy, but it is sad. And you're watching me sit here break down. And like, trying to catch up to my body is hard. Trying to catch up to my mind is hard. And like, coming to these really rational places at 25 is so lonely. As addicts, as alcoholics, as people who suffer with mental health, we are trying to solve the puzzle for like all of life. That is what we are aiming to do, is to solve this puzzle where we want this here, but we can't have that. We can have this here, but then we can't have that. Okay. And then we can, you know, okay, I'm sad here, but this part of things makes me enjoy this. Okay. Well, this part does. It's like a whole fucking map. And like, that's what mental illness looks like. And that's what choosing yourself daily, painfully, shaking in our boots, like I talked about at the beginning of this podcast, shaking in our fucking boots, looking at the enemy. That's what I feel like. And that's what it feels like sometimes when we're putting those pieces together. And it feels lonely in a world like that, but it's like such a level up. And that's what keeps me grateful for it, I think. And like, because that's the point of this. The point isn't that I stay away from alcohol. Yes, it is. But like, the point is my happiness. The point is my peace. It has nothing to do with my alcohol consumption. That's the main goal. That's what the main goal is, not the alcohol consumption. The alcohol follows it. And sometimes it has to become the main goal because the other thing we don't care about anymore. And like, maybe it's that goals are switching and flipping and they have to flip between each other to keep us like moving in the right direction, and they flip back right before we get to the prize. Like, things are focused on me not drinking right now. And then when I get closer to the prize, it flips back to happiness because like, I'm working with myself, not against myself. And I'm like starting to understand that within me. I wrote on here, which is so true. Like, and this is a perspective change I've had, like in this metamorphosis kind of, or like something I realized that made a lot of sense to me and clicked. But like, there's always someone better with more to offer, or someone who doesn't like me and I need to change their mind. I can't live my life like that. And these are things that are underneath the surface, guys. These are not things that ache on me every day that I'm constantly thinking about that I need to change. Like, I asked for my soul to be awoken. I asked for these things that don't belong to me to be taken away. And like, a huge part of this is the human judgment aspect, something that I suffered from for a very long time. And it ruined me in a lot of ways. And I'm finally coming to an age to where like, I am getting steps to fix it. And I'm very thankful for that. I mean, I wonder if other people part with that, because that sucks. Like, I have always had to change. Like, there is someone better and there is someone with more to offer, and that goes for everyone. But that was my main focus in life for a lot of my life, was someone better. There's someone better. There's someone with something better to offer. And now that I'm me and I'm choosing to accept her and I love her, there's not. That's not true. There is not other people like me. And I know that because I walk around and I look for them actively. Sobriety is still, I would still give everything for the moment of peace where I find all these revelations, I find all these great things about myself, but also experience peace and happiness. And I know the only way for that in my life is through sobriety. There's no way, because my disease is waiting for me. And we talked about that. And I know it. And like, I might slip, I might fall, but that is still my main goal. And all of this is worth every ounce of that, because it's not something that occurs to me naturally on this earth. And that might be something I think part of me gets emotional too, is like, I wonder if I rob myself of that through what I've done to myself. And I think that, like, in my heart of hearts, that's what I cry over too, is like, I destroyed my chances. Like, and it's a great big pity party me crying here right now. And that's okay. You know, like, I'm allowed to have my tantrums. I deserve to cry, and I deserve to feel these things and be very real about it, just like everybody else does too. And one thing I realized I haven't kind of talked about that also came up during this, like, kind of transformative period is the mental blocks. Okay. Where during healing, during choosing better, our brain blocks itself. It's almost like a writer's block in a way. And it just, like, nothing can come and it will not stop. And I've definitely experienced those on multiple accounts with my healing. So as in, like, I'm getting to a place where things are better. I'm writing every day. I'm journaling every day. I'm able to really get into my thoughts, to map it out, to understand where I am. And then boom, I barely want to meditate. I can't reach into my innards. I'm angry with God. And I usually wrestle with that. Angry with not knowing if God, like that whole thing. Then this big mental block comes. And it sticks for a while. And then sometimes we work with it in a way that we don't think it's there anymore. It's there, you know? It's really human of us. So I just don't want you to be upset with yourself going through those periods of the mental blocks, of not feeling like you're able to heal like other people are, or you're not gaining stuff out of it again. And to me, it's like my wall slipping back up in my heart, because I'm questioning reality. I'm questioning myself, and I'm questioning my higher power or the other side, which is a common occurrence and a common theme. And something that I learned about myself too recently was, like, that relationship is always going to change. And, like, I can't be so hard on myself for not believing anything, or for what I believe, you know what I mean? And, like, I struggle with it every time I talk about it on here, because I think we get guilty that we can't just heal like we did in the beginning, or we can't jump back into recovery or jump back into our healings in our heart the same way as we did before. But we grow so much. Our heart and our mind doesn't want that. It can't be fed by that anymore, and we have to change that. And that's like a fun thing. That's something I'm having to do now. If my healing becomes job-like, then I get angry too. And I get really bitter over it. And that's not a good thing. Because we become new versions of ourselves all the time, we also create, like, new pain. And I think that, like, maybe not new pain, us being exposed to pain that's already been there, you know, but now we can see it because we're leveling up, like, the further along we get. Or our pain is the same and it shapes with us, and we can see it in a different way, or it hurts in a weird spot a different way. We are not forever sad. We are deeply complicated. This is what an in-tune person looks like. Somebody who cries, somebody who's upset, somebody that's fighting for their sobriety and being really open and honest about it. Because to me, happiness is perfection. That's what that looks like. And maybe that's why the word is so interchangeable for me. And as we discuss it, I talk about experience being more important. And maybe that's because of what I've made the word. And when I was young, I recognized that I wanted happiness more than success, or that they were the same. So in turn, if success is supposed to be perfect, then so is happiness. And so maybe that, like, it's a complicated thing for me, and that's why I'm struggling articulating it. Or it feels like, to me, I can't count these days as happy if I feel any type of presence of other shit in my chest and it's just not real. That's a relationship that I have to mend. Unfortunately, the way that I'm riddled, the way that my soul is riddled, finding the path requires a lot of tears. And finding the puzzle requires a lot of confusion and a lot of heartache and a lot of questions that other people may not have to ask. And I think that's an honor at the end, because it, like I said, it makes us deeply complicated. So I think if you're somebody like that and you're somebody who suffers with this sadness and all this bullshit, stop fucking lying about it. Stop fucking lying about it. And I mean, to yourself. And it means that you're not going to settle in your gut with just fucking things being this way. Because that's what I struggle with now, is I cannot let things be that way. And then sometimes when they can't be that way, it pushes me way over here, and now I have to figure out this equation, because that's not going to work for me anymore. But that's like the ebb and flows of what I talk about with healing. And like, maybe this was important for me to be here today because I'm getting out a lot of my feelings, and like I was holding back my tears. I didn't want to talk about certain shit. I got mad at myself, but it's for other people to see the way that we're supposed to handle ourselves and the math that it takes sometimes to go through these things. I had holes in my consistency in being there for myself, because if I don't think she's asking for what she should be asking for, or the things that other people need in life, I'm like, girl, get a fucking grip. That's my own brain. That's who I am. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? We're not aiming for perfection here. Maybe that's the whole overlying thing of all of this, and I have such an issue with striving for that perfection. Part of me doesn't even want to apologize for sitting here and doing this today, but I am sorry that I couldn't come back after the series and just lay some heat on you, some profound bullshit. And I want you to be okay with who you are, even if that's sad or angry or mad. Because we're not the healed version of ourselves. We're working on that. So we can't be so unhappy day in and day out with who we are. Because like, who we're healing to be is not who we are now. So if we're going to hate that girl until we heal, sometimes these solutions take months, take years. What's the point? But what do? I hold hope. I have hope that sobriety works. Irregardless, I'm sitting here in shambles and low-key wanting some fucking relief. Low-key wanting to be like everybody else. I don't get that. I don't get that if I want to have kids, if I want to have happiness, I want to have a future. I don't want to be sick and dying or in fucking jail. That's what I have to do. And I had to break that shit down and flip it on its head and switch it and reverse it, bitch. Because it's your open, I want to plan, yes. Because it's your open, I want to plan, yes. I love you. Maddie cries on her podcast that gets 4 views. I made a hinge too. We'll talk about it next week. Sorry. Have a good week. Bye.